How about playing Lex Luthor and Superman? You enjoy playing the baddie, do you?
It's great fun. I must say, it's like a license to steal. Almost anything you do is going to be okay because he's a kind of a flamboyant character and deranged and all the things that actors love to play.
Authorities in New Mexico are investigating after legendary actor Gene Hackman, his wife, and their dog were all found dead inside of their home. Now, according to a search warrant, investigators found no signs of carbon monoxide.
Found dead Wednesday alongside his wife, classical pianist Betsy Arakawa, in their home in Santa Fe. Police say the couple, who married in 1991, were found with their dog after a neighbor called police to do a welfare check. Authorities say there is no immediate indication of foul.
A gutsy everyman who always rose to the occasion.
This morning, authorities are investigating what led to the sudden death of 95-year-old legendary actor Gene Hackman and his 63-year-old wife, classical pianist.
One of the most respected actors of all time, Gene Hackman, has shocked the world once again, but not for his legendary performances. This time, it is something much more tragic. The Hollywood star was found lifeless in his Santa Fe home, but what makes this even more shocking is that his wife, Betsy Arakawa, was also found dead alongside him. Authorities have now called the deaths suspicious, and a full investigation is underway. But what happened? And how did a peaceful home turn into a scene of mystery? Well, in today's episode, we will explore exactly that.
From the world of entertainment, actor Gene Hackman, his wife, and their dog were found dead inside their New Mexico home last night. Investigators say they do not suspect foul play, but the gas company is assisting with the probe, which is a sign that carbon monoxide poisoning could be responsible.
Hackman, who was 95, and Arakawa, who was 63, had been living together in their Santa Fe home for many years. They were known for keeping a quiet and private life away from Hollywood's spotlight. But on Wednesday afternoon, two maintenance workers made a disturbing discovery. The couple was found lifeless inside their home. Arakawa's body was in the bathroom, lying on the floor, while Hackman was found in the mudroom next to the kitchen. If that was not strange enough, there was also a dead dog in a bathroom closet. However, two other dogs were still alive, one running loose outside and the other near Arakawa's body. At first, authorities did not suspect foul play, but when detectives started looking at the scene closely, they realized that something was not right. There were no clear causes of death, no signs of a gas leak, no visible injuries, and no obvious trauma. A prescription pill bottle was found open on the bathroom counter, with pills scattered nearby. A space heater was also found close to Arakawa's head, and investigators believe it might have fallen if she collapsed suddenly. These details raised enough questions for Detective Roy Arndt to request a full search warrant. He told the judge that the case was suspicious enough to require a deeper investigation.
And his wife, Betsy Arakawa, after the couple was found dead in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home. Authorities discovered the 95-year-old Oscar winner, his wife, and their dog on Wednesday afternoon after a neighbor requested a welfare check.
The couple was discovered during a welfare check. A neighbor had not seen or heard from them for some time, so they called the authorities to check on them. When sheriff's deputies entered the house, they found both Hackman and Arakawa dead. Their dog had also died inside the home. At first, detectives did not find any clear signs of violence. There were no gunshot wounds, no forced entry, and no obvious external injuries. But something about the scene made them believe further investigation was needed. One detail that stood out was the front door. It was left open when the authorities arrived, which was unusual. Another major mystery is the timeline of their deaths. It is unclear when exactly they died, but Arakawa's body showed clear signs of decomposition. Her face was bloated, and her hands and feet had started mummifying. Hackman's body showed similar signs, meaning they had likely been dead for a while before being found. This detail adds another layer of mystery. If they had died days earlier, why had no one noticed? And why were two of their dogs still alive while another had died? As soon as investigators realized the unusual circumstances, they brought in the fire department and the gas company to check for carbon monoxide poisoning. This is a common cause of sudden, unexplained deaths in homes. However, no gas leak was found, ruling out that possibility. With no immediate explanation for the deaths, detectives have started searching for other clues. They are looking for phones, security footage, DNA, and fingerprints. Even though there were no signs of a struggle, they have also requested to collect any sharp or blunt objects that could be used as weapons. A judge approved the search warrant on Wednesday night, and the investigation is now in full motion. The Office of the Medical Investigator will conduct autopsies to determine the exact cause of death, but officials have refused to comment, saying that they do not discuss active investigations. This means that, for now, the world is left with more questions than answers.
Hackman's daughter, Elizabeth, tells TMZ she believes it was carbon monoxide fumes inside the home that killed the couple and their dog. TMZ is reporting that Gene Hackman and his wife, 64-year-old Betsy Arakawa, were dead for at least a day before their bodies were found.
Hackman's daughter, Elizabeth, has spoken out about what she believes happened. She told TMZ that she suspects carbon monoxide poisoning. This deadly gas is invisible and has no smell, making it extremely dangerous. It can come from faulty heating systems, generators, or other household appliances. The gas company was called in to assist with the investigation, which suggests that officials also considered this possibility. However, the official cause of death has not been confirmed yet. The autopsy results will be crucial in determining exactly what led to the tragedy. TMZ has also reported that Hackman and Arakawa had been dead for at least a day before their bodies were discovered. This means that whatever happened inside that house, it took place without anyone noticing for an extended period. If it was indeed carbon monoxide poisoning, it raises questions about why no alarms went off and why their dog was also affected.
What was it like being on the set with Gene Hackman?
Well, Gene, people ask all the time, who's the best actor, who's the biggest star, who's the blah, blah, blah. The line's long for the great actors I've been able to work with, it really is. But I would say probably Gene was the best actor that I'd ever worked with.
Hackman's death marks the end of an era in Hollywood. He was one of the most respected and versatile actors of his time. Born in San Bernardino, California, he did not start acting until he was in his 30s.
I think his enduring legacy goes back to, if we try to understand him growing up, he was born in 1930. He enlisted in the army at the age of 16. He actually lied about how old he was.
Gene Hackman was born in 1930 in California. He had a tough childhood. His father left the family when he was young, and that made life harder. But even as a kid, he loved movies. When he was 10 years old, he watched his first film, and it changed his life. He loved action movies, and his favorite actor was James Cagney. He admired how Cagney moved and spoke on screen. This was the moment when Hackman decided he wanted to be an actor. Hackman joined the U.S. Marines when he was 16. He lied about his age to get in. He spent a few years in the military, working as a radio operator. He traveled to different places and learned discipline, but he knew deep down that the military was not where he wanted to be. After leaving the Marines, he struggled to find direction. He did different jobs, but none of them satisfied him. Finally, he made a bold decision. He wanted to follow his childhood dream. He wanted to become an actor. In 1956, Hackman enrolled at the Pasadena Playhouse, a famous acting school in California. This was an important step, but it was not easy. He was not a star student. In fact, his teachers thought he had no talent. They even voted him least likely to succeed. This was painful, but it did not break him. He made friends with another struggling actor, Dustin Hoffman. They bonded over their shared struggles. Another young actor, Robert Duvall, also became part of their circle. Hackman decided to move to New York City to chase his dream. He took odd jobs to survive. He worked as a doorman, a furniture mover, and even in a restaurant. One day, he ran into a former teacher from the Pasadena Playhouse. The teacher looked at him and said, "I knew you wouldn't amount to anything." This insult fueled Hackman's determination. He refused to give up. He kept going to auditions. He kept practicing. He was willing to do whatever it took. Slowly, Hackman started getting small roles. He appeared in television shows and minor stage productions. His first credited film role was in Lilith. It was a small part, but it was a start. His career picked up when he got a role in Bonnie and Clyde. He played Buck Barrow, the brother of Clyde Barrow. His performance was powerful, and people noticed. He even got nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. This was a turning point. He was no longer just another struggling actor. Hackman kept working hard. He took roles in films like Downhill Racer and Marooned. Then, in 1970, he got another Oscar nomination for I Never Sang for My Father. His big break came in 1971 with The French Connection. He played Jimmy Popeye Doyle, a tough New York cop. The film was a huge success. Hackman won the Academy Award for Best Actor. He was now a star. After The French Connection, Hackman became one of the busiest actors in Hollywood. He starred in hit movies like The Poseidon Adventure, Scarecrow, and The Conversation. In 1978, he took on a very different role. He played Lex Luthor in Superman, the movie. This was his first major comedy role, and he was great in it. He returned as Lex Luthor in the sequels in 1980 and 1987. Hackman was known for his intense acting style. He did not just play characters, he became them. He had a reputation for being serious on set. He did not like unnecessary takes. He wanted to get things right the first time. Directors loved working with him because he was so professional. In the 1980s, Hackman kept proving he was one of the best actors in Hollywood. He played basketball for the Hoosiers. The film became one of the greatest sports movies ever.
Difference between them and us. That's the difference between them and you. Did you smile when the bulldozer ran over the black kid's body?
We're here to protect Anglo-Saxon democracy and the American way.
In 1988, he starred in Mississippi Burning. This was a powerful film about racism and justice. Hackman was nominated for another Academy Award for his role. In 1992, Hackman gave one of the best performances of his career. He played a cruel sheriff in Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven. The film was a masterpiece. Hackman won his second Academy Award, this time for Best Supporting Actor. Unforgiven won Best Picture, and it cemented Hackman's place in Hollywood history. Throughout the 1990s, Hackman continued to deliver amazing performances. He starred in The Firm, Crimson Tide, and Enemy of the State. He had a special talent for playing both heroes and villains. Whether he was a coach, a lawyer, or a criminal, he made every character believable.
I never wanted to be anything but an actor. George Scott had a line in Patton that I think is appropriate. God help me, I love it. I truly do.
Hackman never slowed down. In the early 2000s, he starred in The Royal Tenenbaum, which earned him a Golden Globe. He also acted in Runaway Jury, working with his old friend Dustin Hoffman. But in 2004, Hackman made a big decision. He retired from acting after his final film, Welcome to Mooseport. Hackman was not the type to sit still. After retiring from acting, he focused on writing. He wrote several novels, mostly historical fiction. He also spent time on his other hobbies, like cycling and architecture. He loved designing homes and even had some of his houses featured in magazines. Despite being retired, Hackman remained a respected figure in Hollywood. Many actors looked up to him. He had achieved everything an actor could dream of. He won 2 Academy Awards. He starred in some of the greatest films ever made. He worked with legends like Clint Eastwood, Al Pacino, and Robert Duvall. Hackman avoided the spotlight in his later years. He rarely gave interviews. He lived a quiet life in New Mexico with his wife, Betsy Arakawa. They enjoyed their time together away from Hollywood.
Winning actor Gene Hackman's out of the hospital after an accident in the Florida Keys. The 81-year-old was riding his bike when a car bumped him from behind. He was airlifted to Miami to receive treatment for his injuries and was released several hours later. Hackman.
In 2012, Hackman had a scary accident. He was cycling in Florida when a pickup truck hit him. At first, people feared the worst, but Hackman was tough. He survived with only minor injuries. Even in his 80s, he stayed active and kept riding his bike. But now, the biggest question now is whether this was a tragic accident or if something more sinister happened. Was it a case of accidental poisoning? Did the prescription pills play a role? Or is there another explanation that has not yet been discovered?
He was 95 years old. What a life. But especially sad, tragic, and worrying is that his wife, his much younger wife, was also found dead, as was their dog. The 3 bodies were found by police Wednesday at Hackman's home in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Investigators are working hard to answer these questions. The search of their home will provide crucial evidence, and the autopsies will be the key to understanding how they died. It may take days or even weeks before a clear answer comes. So that's all we have for now. Don't forget to comment down your thoughts on this. And while you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well.